Hi, I'm Jason Michaels from WHIO Radio. This tower that you see behind me has been a familiar landmark to thousands of Miami Valley residents. This tower here at 1414 Wilmington Avenue was the original broadcast tower for WHIO Television as well as WHIO FM Radio. But sometime in about the next year or so, this familiar landmark will be gone.
1290 WHIO.
We came out here at some point in the early 1950s, maybe around 1950, 1951. And of course, for many years, the morning show on WHIO was hosted by a longtime employee by the name of Lou M. He was on the air here for 51 years, ended his career with us in 1992. So the story goes, Lou has been seen around here since his death. At least one employee here claims to have even spoken with Lou. Apparently it happened very, very early in the morning, and this employee encountered Lou walking through the hallways, appearing to not really know where he was going. When the employee approached Lou, he was told by Lou, supposedly, "I can't find my office."
I heard you on the wireless back in 52.
So what you're seeing behind me today functions as the WHIO TV newsroom. But many, many years ago, this was not a TV newsroom, this was actually a television studio. And it's got a very interesting story behind it, or so the engineers tell me. What it has to do with is that doorway at the far side of the room. You see, this was the studio where WHIO Television many years ago produced its children's television programming in the afternoon. And if you ever were a kid back in the 1960s or the early 1970s, for the Uncle Laurie show or the Ken and Don show, maybe you remember that when the cartoons were running, you never saw Uncle Laurie. And Ken and Don were nowhere to be found in the studio. So where were they? You see, that passageway at the far end of the TV newsroom actually brings you here to the main floor of the television station. It's true that back in the 1960s, many radio and television performers, well, would smoke cigarettes. People like Uncle Laurie might have come up and smoked a cigarette while the cartoons were on and while the commercials were on, only to get back down in front of the cameras right before it was time for them to go back on the air. Literally thousands of telecasts have originated out of this studio since 1949. This, the main television studios of WHIO Television. During its day, it's seen cooking shows, it's seen interview programs, and of course, it's seen newscasts. News Center 7, which of course has been a staple of Dayton television for, well, decades now. And all of this will soon be coming from the Cox Media Group's new home on South Main Street in Dayton. Yes, it's true, News Center 7 has had AMS certified meteorologists for decades, but when you want to find out what's going on outside, there's really only one way to do it. You look out the AccuWindow.